Hello, I'm Renel from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and this video is about communication and respect, are pillars of a relationship. First time I heard about this, I was a teenager, and someone was asking me what are the facts of life, and I really didn't know what they were talking about. I was so young. But over time, I learned that communication and respect are truly a foundation in a relationship. One reason is because relationships, we're going to have our ups and downs ourselves, along with another person. I used to take things so personal. If someone was angry, irritated, I thought it was me. What did I do? And I had a habit of taking things personal as a kid, but I grew and learned a lot more about emotions, what we all deal with. But it's a big deal to learn what people's boundaries are. Show basic respect. How do we want to be treated and be willing to treat others like that? It's also possible that we may have some habits that are self-defeating or a bit rough. So learning to pay attention to how people feel around us is huge. In a relationship, sometimes we're angry, sometimes we're frustrated. Who knows what we're going through? But in those particular states, how do we treat ourselves? And how do we treat others? Do we take our issues out on other people? If someone begins doing it to us, how do we respond? These are some of the things we're going to have to navigate. Do we say things like, it looks like you're going through a rough moment, but the way I was spoken to, I'm not crazy about it, and can we think about better ways of communicating? Or are there some people you prefer to have a relationship with through email, social media, but not in person? How well do we communicate that? How well do we respect people setting boundaries with us? Being respectful and mindful in how we interact with others is huge. It creates the groundwork of having an ideally pleasant relationship with someone, good times. I think it's helpful to look forward to having a cool moment wherever you meet someone while being observant. If things don't work out, if things doesn't feel right, we can always pull back, move on. But respect how we treat other people, being mindful of how people feel in certain situations. If someone is uncomfortable, we're mindful in how we treat them. Communication, expressing our thoughts, also giving someone else a chance to communicate with us. Are we being attentive? And these are things that can solidify a relationship through ups and downs. And it's not always going to be easy, especially with family. There could be a lot of emotions, pent-up emotions from the past, trauma that we experienced. And with family, you may often have to see each other if parents are around or siblings. And do we create distance when necessary? How do we release steam? So these are things that are helpful to keep in mind, and also learning more about, maybe reading, listening to a podcast to see how we can enrich a relationship. This is life. Things are not always going to be easy, but it's helpful to remain optimistic. If there is a dead end in a relationship, it could be time to create more distance or move on or detach, perhaps love from a distance unconditionally or whatever we think is best. Thank you.